Good morning. We're about to go have an eventful day today. Day in the life of an agency owner, 15K a month. Thank you to Upwork. Been stuck at this 15K a month mark for way too long. I've definitely hit a plateau. Been working on some stuff though, so I'm going to be talking about that. Today isn't going to be not a typical day though, even though it's like a day in the life. It's Saturday. So we decided to take the Trackhawk today. As you can see, it's definitely a Jeep Trackhawk, not a Honda CR-V. I'm going to do a pull real quick. Listen. Went up 2 miles an hour, baby. I woke up today, my team member was already awake. He's on the East Coast time zone. That's actually one thing that I talk about a lot. We have tried to hire team members from VAs, whatever you want to call it, from the opposite side of the world, right? So we're in America, so the opposite side for us would be like anyone from like Bangladesh, India, Philippines, even like South Africa. We've tried to hire some people from there too, but we have a 100% failure rate. Even Dubai, we actually had a really talented video editor from Dubai. Hope everything's going well for him though. But the only issue is it's not natural for people to just be awake and work during this time that they should be sleeping, right? So 100% failure rate. So I highly suggest wherever your clients are, whatever hours, like business hours you usually operate, try to find freelancers and team members in that same time zone as well. If you can make it work where they can do the work while you're sleeping, and then by the time you're awake, maybe they send you a project file, so if there's any revisions, you can take care of the revisions yourself or any little tweaks, then I guess you could do that too. I just prefer having it so it's like, all right, when I'm awake, I know that the team is awake, I know that the clients are awake, so we have communication, we can do revisions, we can do whatever we want, brainstorming, whatever, right? One of the things we're trying to get into as an agency is leaning more towards like the growth operating side of things. I don't want to be just every other content agency that just like makes videos and helps people with that. So we're working on I'm training one of my team members for script writing, and I made this I spent like 2 days straight just making this writing course for him, and then explaining pretty much like, hey, this is how we properly write a script. You got to think of all these things, because to me, I've been writing scripts for a long time actually. I think I was like 6 years old when I started writing just for fun, which is funny because in high school I hated writing, and in school I hated writing, but I really loved the process of like trying to figure out how to write an engaging story. I just didn't like academic writing, I guess. I always found that boring. Luckily, all that writing has paid off, because now it's, oh wow, look at that. You see the underlights in that car? Fellow Honda guy, you know? So we're trying to lean in more towards the copywriting side of stuff. And then on top of that, like ads, you'll see I'm running some Instagram ads myself now, and some appointment setting, basically like when it comes to growth operating and helping coaches and consultants pretty much be like the front end marketing team for them, so that way they can just handle focusing on their clients and taking sales calls. But we'll see how that goes. That's one thing that we're working on. Oh god, for sure. I'm gonna take a bite first. Oh fuck. So the itinerary for today, like I said, it's not a typical day. It's not like we'd be doing this every single day. Usually the day in the life really is wake up, open the laptop, and get to work. I'll probably be brewing myself a coffee at home. That's it. I mean, it's really boring. In the middle of the day, I try to get some activity, try to work out. Some days I can't though, because it's just too busy. Like I said, I'm trying to set up the system so that we're breaking past this plateau. Oh, and it's interesting. Later, I'm going to be talking about what I think is like the Upwork trap, similar to like the Uber trap that a lot of people fall into, but I'll talk about it later. Anyways, what we're doing is we're going to be working at this cafe for a couple of hours, and then training for a Spartan race that we're doing, which is something that I've never thought I would ever do. But one of our boys, Ruben, last year or 2 years ago, we surprised him with the BMW i8, just like a rental for the day. Oh! What I'm about to give you is the real gift, bro. It's $100 million. I got you, man. But he just randomly texted me and Arun. He's like, yo guys, I signed up for a Spartan race. You guys should join too. And bro, I'm not gonna lie, at first I was gonna say no. I was thinking, there's no way I'm doing a Spartan race, man. I haven't ran, I'm out of shape, and there's only 45 days too. So if he told us this like months before, I would definitely be like, all right, cool, I've got enough time to prepare and everything. I was thinking about saying no, but I said yes. I convinced Arun, we peer pressured Arun to say yes as well. This is when peer pressure is good. Basically, we got 30 days left until the race. So after this, we're gonna be going to a 3.5 mile, like a hike. It's gonna be a run. Most likely we're gonna walk most of it, but try our best to keep up and run. I don't even think I've ever ran 4 miles. I think I did it once, like 3 or 4 years ago maybe. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna enjoy this delicious egg sandwich. Finish this up. I'm actually texting some of my team members right now, texting my clients right now. I'm getting some information about how the video should go, trying to plan it with them. And then we'll move on with the rest of our day. All right, so I completely forgot. We actually have an Agency Go live call right now. Agency Go is my free Discord community, free community. I do free weekly live calls on Saturdays. I got a hat so you know it's legit. And so I'm wrapping up this client script. I'm going to send it over to one of my team members and let him know, like, hey, here are the tweaks that I made for this script. So just check it out while I'm in this Agency Go live call. And then I'm going to start the Zoom call for them. The coffee shop guy was nice enough to let us take these chairs outside, so that way we could be out here. It's pretty loud in there, so I don't want to be talking over everything else that's going on in there. All right, so while I'm waiting for some people to join the Zoom call, because right now Agency Go is actually really small group. We have less than 100 people in it right now. I am launching ads though next week, so I'm hoping, and I'm trying to put a lot of money into these ads, so I'm hoping that it kind of supercharges the growth of the group. But hey, if you're watching this video and you want my attention, as much attention as possible before the group gets big, hopefully it does get big. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll stay small for a while. But when it gets big, I assume I'm probably not going to have as much time to give people one-on-one guidance, one-on-one help during these Zoom calls. So join up. Links are in the description. I used to say there's no upsells, but there is an upsell this time. However, you don't really need it. Just for people who want like private one-on-one coaching from me, you can do that. But I'm very active in the Agency Go group. So if you don't have the budget for it, for the coaching, or if you don't feel like it's necessary for you, then literally just take the course, join the group, ask me questions. I try to answer as much of them as I can. Bruh. Especially during the Zoom calls, I do like profile reviews, which is what I'm doing today actually. So doing a profile review. Well, there you go. If you're not sending any proposals, you're not going to get a lot of profile views, my guy. Inbound is something that I like to think of as just kind of the cherry on top. It's like nice to have, but when it comes to Upwork specifically, I have found the most success with just consistently doing at least 10 outreach per day. I just finished the Agency Go free group call. What we're gonna be doing is heading to the place that we're running now, the hike. All right, good thing we didn't get a ticket, because I'm definitely here over the time that we're allowed to be here. Oh man, the track hawk. There you go. So we made it to the hiking location. Mission is we're going to take that road, that trail right there. Meeting went for a lot longer than I thought it would. Usually it's been going on for like an hour and a half, so I try to give people as much one-on-one time as possible. Here's what's cool too, is like the fact that I actually run an agency and actually help clients right now with social media and with their content strategy, with their growth, and soon I'm going to be helping with their ads. Inside the group, I can help people with their content strategy for their clients as well. So for example, one of the discussions that I had was, I told this guy, bro, your content strategy right now that you're doing for your client, it's not going to work because it's too broad, right? If you're doing organic content only for your client, you need to make sure that every single piece of content follows a North Star of what the goal is for their clients, for their clients' customers, I guess. Clientception, bro. Clientception, getting crazy out here. I do live in the Bay Area, and out here, if you leave anything in your car, by the time you get back, it's not going to be in your car anymore. It's going to be on the way to the fucking pawn shop, or it's going to be on the way to the local flea market or something. We got to bring our bags with us. And it sucks because I got my laptop in here, so it's gonna be kind of heavy, but it is what it is. One thing I also want to talk about in this video is the Upwork trap, okay? Similar to the Uber trap that I see a lot of people get themselves into, which basically is when you think about driving for Uber or DoorDash or any of these like gig economy stuff, a lot of people seem to forget, like, dude, this should simply be a stepping stone, should be something temporary while you focus on the bigger picture, right? Like, if, for example, if you're trying to become like a software engineer or something, right? You can't find a software engineer job, or even like marketing. You're trying to start your marketing agency, can't seem to get clients because you're a beginner and you don't know what you're doing, right? That makes sense. I mean, that's gonna happen. But the thing is, a lot of people I see get stuck driving Uber for years, and then 3 years later they're still driving for Uber, which, like, hey man, more power to you if that's what you specifically want to do. Like, if you choose to drive it for that long, if that's like your career that you want to do. But for the people who are like, that's not their career, that's not their end goal, it's like, bro, you've been doing this for 3 years, right? And I'm talking to myself on Upwork too, because once I hit this plateau, like once I got to like 10 to 15, I kind of like 10 to 15K a month, I kind of got like complacent. I got really complacent with kind of being in that mark, and I stopped like mainly like optimizing my service so it's like a higher ticket service. I'm like also thinking about my family members who drive Uber, and then I'm thinking like, bro, so how many jobs did you apply to this week? Like, how's that looking? How many interviews did you do this week? And they're like, you know, I sent out a few, I did a couple, there's just not that many, there's not that many available. I'm like, okay, so how are you doing it? Like, did you email them? Did you just apply to them? Did you like bother them? Did you call them? What are you doing? Like, did you go to their offices? Did you hand in your resume through hand? Did you do any sort of like free work for them? Like, what did you do? And then they say like, oh yeah, you know, I sent in my application and they just haven't got back to me yet, da-da-da-da. And it's like, bro, you're not gonna win. This is gonna be your life forever now. I mean, the last 3 years you've been driving and you've been doing this. So it's the same thing that I'm talking to myself about, which is like, bro, if I continue doing what I'm doing right now, then I'm going to be stuck at this 15K a month level. So that's why right now I'm desperately trying to reinvest into like ads, or I'm trying to invest into the personal branding side of things. So that way, and not only that, but cold outreach too. So like more directed cold outreach. So that way I'm like breaking past this plateau and I'm not going to be stuck in the Uber or the Upwork trap, which first of all is a great thing to use at first, but you just can't let yourself be trapped. It's a stepping stone. It's a ladder, right? So you want to use that to get your foot in the door, use that to get some momentum, and then take the next step up. So that's what we're trying to do here. Speaking about stepping, we got a lot of steps to do. So one thing that I forgot to mention actually is during the drive, I was reviewing some videos as well, mainly videos for myself, but I didn't have to do any client videos, but I was reviewing a YouTube video that I was just about to release, and I thought this would be important to say, right? So whether it's for your clients or for yourself, if you're building a personal brand, sometimes you might have to re-record a video. I checked out the video, editing was on point. My team does a phenomenal job with the editing, but my presence on camera was weak because I haven't posted a video or sat down in front of a camera to record a video in like 2 months. So I looked at the video and I was like, this is really bad, bro. I'm gonna re-record this and then send it back to you. So sometimes you gotta do that. And then also for my coaching client, I told him the same thing for his first video that he sent. He sent me the video and I told him straight up, I said, bro, you gotta re-record this. I didn't say it like me in a mean way. I said, hey man, so this is a great first job, or like, this is a great first recording. However, we need to improve X, Y, and Z. And I gave him specific examples. I even recorded a Loom video to be like, hey, this is how you should be presenting yourself and kind of like your tonality. He had this issue where when he was presenting the information, he would inhale at the same time, which made it look like he didn't care. So it's like, bro, you gotta be enthusiastic and confident on camera. Otherwise, they're not gonna be into it. You gotta be entertaining, you know? Okay, I can't breathe. That's a knowledge nugget. Okay, we made it to the top. Well, almost the top. There's like a little bit more, but this place seems better to film. A little vlog update. I want to share some good news and some bad news about the agency. Dude, what if I turn this thing on? Made it to the top. I think it was like 2 miles or maybe 2.5 miles up. So we got 2.5 miles back down. The good news is we've been getting new clients consistently, which is awesome because it's helping us break through that 15K a month barrier that we've been plateauing at, right? Like every single week we've been getting 1 to 2 new clients. Now I did have to like temporarily pause outreach because we were getting clients, the clients we got right now are really good, but we're getting a lot of small projects. So I was like, all right, let me try to get these bigger projects on Upwork while I simultaneously work on the kind of bigger picture thing that we're doing, right? So even though we've been getting a lot of these small projects, smaller clients, Upwork is a game of continuously taking on these small gigs, allow that to give you a little bit of profit and pay for your Connects investment and pay for your team and whatever overhead you have. And eventually you will land bigger clients, bigger projects, bigger budgets. And that's just been my experience. Like once a month, maybe every other month, if you're not doing outreach as consistently, you are going to land one of the big clients that stays with you for a while. And then eventually, you know, they just keep working with you, which is great because they have higher profit margins, or they give you higher profit margins. It just makes everything kind of worth it, you know, because you're no longer working with clients that are just one-off jobs or they have too many revisions, you build an actual relationship. And those are the clients that turn into the ones that give you 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, even up to like, we have a client that sometimes gives us like 10,000 a month. So those are the months we do past 15K. But when I say I'm breaking past the barrier of 15K, like the plateau, I mean like I want to be consistently doing a new minimum of like 20K. We've reached like 18K a month before, but it hasn't been consistent. So that's what we're trying to kind of work on. We survived the hike. That was nothing though. I got unlimited stamina. Energy is abundant. All right, anyways, let's get back to earth. So I did want to share some bad news, okay? So I had some good news, but there's a little bit of bad news, some yin and some yang. Bad news is I had to drop 3 dream clients that we were working with. Okay, how is it that you have the good news that you're signing on new clients, but at the same time, you had to drop 3 dream clients? And it's because the dream clients, the way that I accepted the work and the scope of work was not something that I currently have systemized. And when it comes to scaling, you need to make sure that you have like a productized service that's very predictable and that's very like streamlined, right? So you give them quality results in a very streamlined process. That's really the only way you're going to be able to scale. And in the beginning, I always say this to everyone too, in like the Agency Go group, and this is what I did as well, is, you know, you got to accept almost everything that you can take and just skill stack, as long as it's relevant to your skill sets. You don't want to take on something that's not relevant to your skill sets. Otherwise, you're just going to give them bad reviews, and that's also not really building your portfolio in the right direction. Like, you have to treat it like a personal brand. Like, you know, Nike does athletic gear, right? Maybe they do some other stuff. They're such a huge company, but it's mainly athletic gear. You don't see Nike making musicals. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is, at this point that I'm at, in order to grow and to get past this plateau, I need to make sure everything's systemized and we have a proof of concept for it. So these 3 clients were dream clients. One of them was an influencer with millions and millions of followers. Like, seriously, a crazy dream client. Offered for me to pay for my travel and all this stuff to work with him, man. But unfortunately, the way that, like I said, it's set up, it just wouldn't make sense for the trajectory of where I want to take the business, which sucks. It really does. Now, with that being said, the other 2 were coaching and consulting clients that were absolute experts in their field, phenomenal on camera, really, really great people to work with. Like, seriously, amazing clients. I say it, so I'm glazing them right now, man. It's a Krispy Kreme up in here, man, with all the glaze. Now, the thing is, the reason I took them on was because I wasn't expecting I got too excited. Like I said, it's difficult to say no. I don't know if I said this earlier, maybe not. I said this in the Agency Go Discord call, the group call. I mentioned, like, it's difficult to say no to some opportunities, but sometimes you got to say no if it's not going to be a right fit long term. And the thing is, with the coaching clients, like, I was kind of implementing a system. Like I said, I'm trying to lean into that growth operating side of things for the agency. And I was implementing those systems, but the fact is I just didn't train my team properly to fully handle them. So I was doing all of the work myself. And it's impossible for me to do everything at this point. It's just like, it's really difficult. If I could work like 80 hours a week consistently, bro, I could definitely do it. But the fact of the matter is, I've got like a decade of bad habits and being like a lazy fucking, what's the right word? Turd. All right. I've got like a decade of being a lazy turd that I'm trying to break those habits and build the new ones. So I just don't have the right personality and the right work habits yet to work 80 hours a week. But I'm trying to make my way up there, if I'm being honest. I think it would be pretty sick if I could do that. For example, my dad has worked 80 hours to 100 hours a week, like every single week for his entire life. My mom has worked crazy hours as well. So seeing them being able to work those hours and me not being able to is low-key, they're mogging me right now. Not gonna lie, they're mogging me hard. You know mogging, right?
I think so, like flexing.
Flexing, yeah, they're flexing on me hard, man. Flexing on me hard. The good thing is I can create these systems, and I'm very confident that if I continue making these systems and I build the SOPs for my team, I take care of quality control, and I take it a little bit slower rather than like jumping straight into it and rather than like risking a client's account and a client's results, I'd rather risk my own. So that's one thing I'm doing with my personal brand, which is like, by the way, I'm not texting and driving. I'm looking at the GPS. All right, in case anybody, you got proof, right? You can see that?
Yeah.
All right. The way that I'm kind of approaching it is like I'm trying to build my own like part-time coaching business, so that way I can take this case study and go to clients or prospective clients and be like, yo, here are the results. Here's the system. This works. We know what we're doing. Allow us to do it for you too for like this fee, right? So that's kind of the thing that I'm working on right now. And hey, if you're watching this and you're a beginner, I strongly recommend doing that yourself. You could always take the route where you sign on a ton of clients and you kind of figure it out as you go. Depending on just your personality type, that might work for you. Everyone's a little bit different though. There's a million ways to make $1 million. I haven't made $1 million yet, but when I do make $1 million, hopefully I can say that again and it actually means something. So if you want to learn how I'm getting all these clients consistently and building my agency with Upwork, then join Agency Go. It's a free Discord, free community, free group calls every single Saturday, and a free course in there. I'm updating the course right now actually because I noticed it's getting a little bit outdated, but hurry up, join, and I'll see you guys in there.